content coming up in the next major update called Groundbreaking. You have seen the trailer in the background of the stream while you were waiting, as you should. I hope you were there, eh? Of course, you have seen the trailer as well on YouTube before, and today we are on our pre-production server to show you some of the cool new stuff that you will be able to play with quite soon, TM. By the way, a little announcement. In something that is actually quite unusual.
Oh yeah, if you didn't hear that, the dev server is going to be today.
Essentially, right after the stream ends, the dev server
today, or do they mean
today?
Where you guys will be able to all of this new equipment yourself. So
it's going to be open
good news
for 12
right
hours.
now, if you haven't yet,
Good news is skilled labor tech. You've been chosen for overtime.
Okay, how about we go right into it then?
How about we do that?
Oh, God,
I heard you wanted a normal day today. Nope.
Okay, let's start off. We are going to go nation by nation, presenting some of the new vehicles, some changes to old vehicles, and new mechanics as well. So, let's start off with the Americans. The Americans are getting a new jet, the A7E. Not that new, of course. We have previous variants of this plane already in the game. However, this specific new version brings a new type of
120 countermeasures is nice.
AGM-62
Did I get sleep? Yeah, of course I did.
Think of these
someone just asking if I had sleep.
Mavericks, essentially. AGM-65s.
Yeah, I feel good today.
Hopefully you did.
They are gliding bombs, TV-guided bombs, which can actually be used against moving targets as well. Sorry, I'm looking a little bit too much there. Okay, now I'm going to go into ready mode so you guys can see all the stats and all the good stuff. I'm going to make sure I am in realistic mode this entire time so you guys can look at the stat cards. By the way, this is all very much work in progress. This is a pre-development server. If you see any bugs or any missing loadout options or anything like that, don't worry, this is still not ready for the final release. That's still a few weeks out. Okay. A7
38 armament present.
You got quite a few loadout options, pretty much to your heart's desire.
AIM-9Es, AIM-9Ds,
AIM-9D if you want to do some
AIM-9Gs.
air-to-air combat, but that's not really what this vehicle was designed for. Instead, you have these things over here, the AGM-62A.
Does it get the Mavericks?
Just sort of tapping my chest.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's the G's as well, does it not?
Seems so.
Why is there a preset for 6 of them and then one for 5 of them?
Cannons.
Okay.
Like, why would you...
Just to vary weight, I guess.
I
suppose,
how they
like-
work in a test flight.
What the
I'm going to
fuck?
make it arcade mode just because it's easier to take off. Well, not easy, but quicker, if it makes
What do you
sense.
do for a job apart from YouTube and stream? I have a full-time job.
If you are unaware, we have a
I work
thing called
40
the
hours a week.
multifunction menu in this game.
I would work
it
more if I
essentially
was
allows
allowed
you to save a lot on keybinds. You can access various vehicle functions, weapon functions, all that good stuff. Now, what I am particularly interested in is the cockpit settings, which are going to have the target point settings. You can of course go into the AGM camera itself if you want to, but personally I like using the other method just because it's a bit easier to use when you are moving around as well, for example in ground RB. I sadly do not have any moving targets, or at least any moving ground targets on this test flight to be able to show you the capabilities of
Have you ever
this
used the
gliding bomb,
multifunction menu?
but I should
Yeah,
be able
I use
to
it to
log
turn on and
to-
off stuff like gunner CCIP,
Let's see if I can
or
get
gun
that.
CCIP and rocket CCIP.
Can he do it?
I never used
Let's
it.
try to. The bomb is tracking. I'm going to release it. These are pretty much
Yeah,
drop
so
and
you can
forget.
still do
By
it
the way,
third
once
person.
you drop the bombs, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You only have to get the lock.
So this
The
thing
bomb
doesn't
will
get
guide
Mavericks.
itself, even on a moving target.
No,
This
so I
is
guess you kinda have to do
optical
the
guidance
trade-off.
system, which is
I
quite
want
nice.
Mavericks or I want my guided one.
Can I
You
turn
do,
them
of
up a little
course,
bit?
have to
Sure.
get close enough to actually be
There
able
you
to
go.
pick up a target.
Thank you for the subscription,
It is
Mr.
not always the
Norbix.
easiest thing
That's
to
very
do,
kind
depending
of you.
on the conditions. These are pretty much ideal conditions. The tanks are in a wide open field.
And nobody is
we
shooting at
aren't,
you.
Having any obstructions of weather or
I would love to
any
just
of
fly
that stuff,
around.
really.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see if I can log
Like,
down
I-
again.
Fire!
It looks
Nice.
really cool, but like
You
as I
can drop
said,
them off axis as well.
the actual
from a
use of
console
this is
if
going to
you
be
want
super
The
small.
bomb will guide
so-
itself, and it allows you to do some interesting ground strike things.
Then it
This,
does.
yes, this is, by the way, not the only new loadout option. There have been a few additions to the Jaguar A, which we are going to be covering later on, as well as some other planes. But first, before we do that,
Shit.
let's head over to Tom's point of view, who is going to be presenting you the new American ship.
Well, ships.
Couple.
Yes. So I have a brief look at these ships, and of course, ships.
PT-174.
This
What
is
is
a
that
USS
thing?
Mitchell, I believe it's
1-7. Coastal
not
gun.
very similar to other sort of the early frigates.
I just
or blue water
finished
ships that
spading all the
US gets.
17s. Why are
Bit
you
more
adding it
modern. So you
now?
have 2 of the main guns here.
It's
They
a
do
premium,
reload
don't
roughly
worry,
the same
Dick.
speed.
Yeah, true.
I believe, or maybe a bit faster. But these aren't really the most interesting aspect of this particular ship. This actually gets 2 of the anti-submarine launchers. The Japanese
Great.
has these as well, only one of them.
God.
What?
But
The
these
rocket
are
launchers.
pretty nuts.
There's
I
a-
can't really
there's a-
show you.
Are they
in a
guided or
live battle 'cause
something?
it'll-
Not really, no.
but
They're
if we
rockets.
can- actually, I don't know if I can
So
show
you
it.
can,
So
They
it has
use
the
them.
actual stats.
Well, they're
available to look at, but
anti-submarine.
Basically, if you hit a ship with one of these, it will one-shot basically anything. Maybe not a battleship, but it's pretty powerful.
It is
So
a pretty
it's,
powerful rocket.
quite
It doesn't go
different to
far
the other
enough,
options
and if you're in
available, which
that
is quite
range,
nice.
you're getting
You know,
torpedoed.
Hammer of many Fletchers there was a huge amount, but this actually does offer something different, which is really nice. So going to be a nice one.
The
It's
rocket
quite
launchers
early
are
on in the
already
ship,
in game,
so pretty
by
easy
the
to
way.
get as well.
On a lot of other,
Briefly,
well,
we
not
can
a lot
look
of
at
other
the
stuff,
new,
but
premium,
oh Jesus
T2.
Christ!
Yeah, has the
What
proper
the
gas
fuck
camera.
is
Scooby
that
seems quite
camouflage?
Used.
Maybe to some people this is the
Scooby
most
Sim.
interesting thing, but
Jesus.
it's a 1.7 and has a frontal 40mm.
Who's got a?
which is
I
really
mean,
good
I
for
like
the
those
early,
types of PT
patrol boats. A lot of
boats,
these
so
have the 40 in the
you know,
back,
I'll never
which
use
isn't
it because it's
quite
rank
useful.
2 and you
It
need
requires
rank
a
3
little
for
bit of
events, but
manoeuvring
still,
to get it
it
working,
looks
but
cool.
This one's going to be pretty nice.
Razzle
Before we move
dazzle,
on
yeah.
very quickly, something I've been waiting for this for a while. It's a really small change, but the P-38J, the L, and the F-7F now have their late war 50 cal belts. Mid-war, and they all now
Oh,
have the late war. And this is
okay.
something- it's a
There we
quite small
go.
thing,
That helps them a
but
lot,
I've
actually.
been kind of looking forward
What's
to that
the
happening,
difference
which is really
between
nice. I
those?
like it. So,
Types
yeah,
of
that's, we've got
types of rounds you can bring.
Now keep in mind, we are not
fair.
showing every new vehicle that is coming in this update just yet. This
So
is a
API
very
tea
early
time.
look. You will be able to hopefully be able to play some of the vehicles that have not been announced yet or that aren't going to be announced yet today on one of the dev servers. Maybe not today though. Okay, next up we have the Germans. I heard you guys like small tankette looking things. Maybe something that is called Weasel. I heard you guys like Weasels. We have
How do the
3
Germans say
new
Weasel? Is it
Weasels
Weasel?
making it to the game.
Hey,
A
Krajin,
completely new
Krajin,
vehicle,
hope you
Spelled
which I
in-
can best
I don't
describe
care.
as someone taking the
Weisel.
Italian L333
Just
and
kidding, I
trying
don't
to
care.
make it fight
If it's
modern
in German, I
tanks.
say that.
That's pretty much the best
Okay,
I can come up with. Let's start off with this one, the Weasel 1A2.
I think their internet's
is a
dying,
version
'cause
with
it's not on my
a
end.
tow launcher on the top, which has access to up to the
see
tow
your stream, you're
2B.
fine.
This is
Yeah.
the missile that
No
can
scouting.
be fired above
GG.
an enemy
No
and then
re-
splash down. They're
No,
not as
no,
powerful as
no
they used to be back
scouting.
when they first
Fuck
launched.
me.
So you have taken out the tow 2
Thermal.
as well. This is a tandem warhead
Oh, your favorite.
See what I
gem
mean.
with a very good 800 millimeters in total, which is not bad at all. With
That's
the
not
tandem
on my
warhead,
end,
of
guys,
course,
just
you
to let you
can
know.
even defeat ERA, which is going to be quite
I
useful.
can see
at these
I
higher
can see
battle
this guy's
ratings.
streams perfectly.
And it is a little vehicle. Now,
Yes.
I
Have
want
you
to
seen
What the
quickly
hell is
explosive
going on my
firearms
end,
yet?
then?
I noticed it does a lot of damage.
20
a lot of damage.
25 kilograms in that thing. I was testing it earlier, and if you basically hit the side of a tank, the explosive mass will just blitz through the hull and ammo rack it. So it's
Even
it's pretty-
from the rear. Even from the rear, I've been able to do that.
yes, it's pretty.
It is kind of insane. Now, okay, we are in arcade mode right now. Mind, this is not quite representative of
It's not
the
external
full
to mod,
mobility,
so you can
but
blow it
this
up.
is quite a nifty little vehicle. Look at that. It
I
has
don't
very good
know.
acceleration. I believe
Hopefully
a power
not.
to weight ratio of around 60 horsepower per ton. Maybe lower. I can't recall the exact number right now. But it is pretty damn good. Of course, because it is a tracked vehicle, it can deal with
Jesus.
terrain like mud and dirt a little bit better than wheeled vehicles can, while still being able to get a decently high top speed. This thing can go up to or over 70 kilometers per hour, which is not bad at all. As you can see, it is a tiny little vehicle. This is an IT-1, by the way, the Russian
What the fuck is going
and
on?
the IT-1 already has
Yeah.
a low profile.
You're getting that?
As you can
It's
see,
not just
this
me,
is
right?
It's not
easily
right now.
beats that. It has an extremely low profile. It's an extremely small little tank. Pretty much half the length of a Russian MBT, which aren't really
Oh,
known
okay.
for being
There you
big.
go.
Yeah,
People are
they're
saying in the
pretty, low
chat.
profile.
Not my
They're
fault.
pretty damn good.
Hands are up.
Despite the, how should I put it, deceiving appearance of this thing, it looks kind of makeshift. It does actually have some thermal vision for the gunner. No commander sight
Are
on
they in
this one.
arcade right now?
And the 80 gem is quite powerful, at least the Turbo
Yeah.
2A.
Can we have a quick look at the gun depression as well? No, I think. Well, gun
We
depression.
can indeed.
Yep, it's minus 10.
I don't think you're going to have problems with...
It's every time they stream?
And
Oh,
not
okay.
exposing yourself at all. Now,
So they
this
need a
tank
better
only
internet
has
connection
free crew,
then.
so it is quite vulnerable if you get if you get penetrated, which you will. This thing has no armor. You are going to die. But it is a very, very sneaky addition. Now, this is not the only version that we have.
So just
Tom
be
also
like
has
a
a different
noosh,
version over there.
where people get caught out
Which
with
is
it,
the
but
Weasel
it's not going to be
1A4.
meta or anything.
Yes, currently classified as a SPA.
It's just
This version is
secondary vehicle for your lineup.
Change because
Oh god, why are the Tiger 2s
well,
there?
has some pretty good thermals, which we can.
Hey,
look at.
scouting!
And
Fuck
the
yeah,
M60
let's
as
go.
well, which is not really the most penetrating round.
I guess this one's gonna get changed as I like them. When it comes
But it's pretty good. So we can have a quick look at
I
some
mean,
of
the
these features
SPA
listed
spawn
here.
just means that it's
Very
cheaper,
similar
right?
functionally in terms of mobility and
Yeah.
armor to the
Yeah.
previous version. I think I'm on RB here, so we can have a look at the mobility a little bit better. But Gen 2 thermals, I believe, which is pretty nice for a vehicle like this. Again, very, very small. And this thing is
I
gonna
would
be pretty
trade the
interesting, but it's
thermals for a
not
stabilizer.
quite as, I guess, usable as it may seem on the surface. The turret is not completely 360 degrees. It cannot go all the way back, and I believe it
It's
can't
like
also go directly
180.
upwards as well. So
Oh,
it's a bit limited there
interesting.
as well. Maybe, again, all this will change, but the recoil is pretty unmanageable. So it's pretty tricky. And
God.
as I know, you're still fighting a lot of World War II era vehicles, and even at the side, they are notably a bit more well protected. So this thing is, I would imagine, is going to be a little bit more usable in the higher tiers, where the sides and rear of MBTs are a little bit weaker. But even so, it's another interesting
Yeah,
addition.
this thing
I
would
like stuff like
be
this, and yeah, it's
amazing
very,
if
very
it
small.
wasn't German.
And the turret, while
Because
you know,
this
does
thing would
appreciate
annihilate
the top,
leopards
is a
and
little bit more
Mardas and all
stealthy
of
when
that,
compared at least to
tons of stuff.
the AGM launcher,
Yeah,
or the TGM launcher.
If
and,
it goes up against
the
a lot
other
of
version you
Soviet
have
stuff
there.
and American
So,
stuff,
yeah,
it probably
this one's
is
gonna
not
be
going to
pretty
have
fun,
as
I think.
Can
good
you
of a
quickly show
time.
the X-ray as well? Because there's not a peculiarity of this vehicle compared to the 1A2 we showed earlier. It only has 2 crew, so it is even less survivable than the original Weasel we showed earlier, which is impressive, I suppose. I didn't know you could go any lower.
See, you can't even pen the size
Okay,
of
we have
side
we
of
do have one
T62.
third version, the
Yeah,
final
this is
version
the
of
new
today, which
63.
is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Ocelot. The Ocelot is the Weasel chassis with a SAM on top. These are man pads. These are essentially stingers. You can get the FIM 92K, which has a bit better tracking than the early version. We show you in a test drive.
Jesus.
These are actually not bad at all now. I remember the old
I would
3
like
days
to say
where you
that
really
is not
couldn't do
me
hitting
doing this.
anything, pretty much.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
But
sure
the
this is
not
that
bad at
window
all.
capture fucking up.
Let's go for the MiG.
I haven't seen these
Because
work
the way that they're gonna
Okay,
have to
no,
do
I'm
this
messing
is
up.
one person does game
I'm messing
capture
everything up.
and the other
Okay,
one
let's do
does
the IL-28 that works as well.
window
Not sure
capture,
if the tracking
and it's
can
not
work through
it's not
the
capturing
smoke.
it properly.
Now keep in mind, you still have some limits. These missiles do not pull 30G like the air-to-air missiles do, given that especially they have to launch from 0 velocity. So you do need to be opportunistic with when you launch the missiles.
Well, that one is
But
probably gonna
against
hit.
targets that aren't doing
There
too
you go.
harsh maneuvers.
Pretty sure
you
this
can
will go
actually
up in
hit
the
them,
air.
which is quite nice.
I
And
won't
you
be
get the
surprised.
Sun Launcher
Normally
at
these
a,
get a lot of kills.
pretty
Yeah.
decent bat rating as
The
well.
LVRBB
Even if
is
they're not
93
the-
right
Keep in
now,
mind,
right?
these are IR
Yeah.
missiles,
And
which
this
means
thing
that
is
they will be deflected
low
by
VR
flares.
with an actual
which means that they are not going
really
to be
good
quite as
radar.
useful against some of the higher tiered helicopters, which have automatic flare launchers when they detect a incoming missile. But it's still a nice little addition to
Yeah, it would be good against
9.0
planes, not helis.
German lineup.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Or at least the helis
that's-
you want
Okay,
it to
these
be
are
useful
the
against.
German vehicles for the time being. But Tom, you have something to show off.
Yes.
A new
Tiger
addition to
2
UI.
time.
Yes, so in the protection analysis, there is now a new button called the protection map.
Oh, they're
And,
gonna
here we go.
protection
the,
map.
it's
Yeah,
a bit
I
preliminary,
guess it is
so
what
it's
we
not
were saying
perfect
earlier.
right now.
Yeah.
But if you press it, it will basically paint on the vehicle at the angle that you're presenting where the round can potentially go through. And it's pretty reliable.
I guess it's
small
to
issues
see
with it,
kind
but
of the
yeah, still,
angles that you are
very much
facing
in
it
Yeah.
from.
phase.
Like, okay,
Strong
it's
pretty good.
German,
It's a nice way,
uh,
you're a new player,
armor
you may be
here.
struggling with
Engineering.
a particular, it'll basically show you where the weak spots are relative to the angle that you're presenting.
Everywhere.
It's pretty nice. Another thing that's happening,
The only thing
Actually,
strong
it's gonna
enough
be
to
a red
penetrate
moment, I
it
think.
was himself.
the armor of the frontal turret of the KTH and the 105 as well has been changed to variable thickness.
Oh.
And if I slowly go down here to the viewer
that's
port,
cool.
maybe something's happening with the armor. I wonder what
Oh no.
maybe
It's almost as if there is a hole.
it could be a sort of a weaker armor area based on the viewport there. How curious that could be. I imagine lots of people will be very, very, very happy with that.
Curious indeed, especially certain
Yeah,
early IS2 players.
But you
with,
can't
not the
you
best
can't
controls out
fit the
there.
fucking round into that hole anymore because of volumetric shells.
Now this armor analyzer feature will be
Like maybe like a
They're
year
saying
ago.
like, oh,
MBTs,
use
for
your
example,
HE,
when you're not in a position
Yeah,
where
like,
you can
goddamn,
penetrate
man.
a certain MBT with a certain round. You can, at least in the next update, you can very easily analyze the armor, and the game will essentially tell you where you need to shoot, so you can memorize it and apply it into the game. Now, I did lie earlier on. This is not
There's
everything
no way
we have
that
for
round
Germany.
goes in.
We do have one more thing.
We do.
Oh, they had
Deutsche
that premium
Demokratische
on.
Republik. As you may know, after the
what?
war,
German
Germany split
Democratic Republic.
Oh, it's DPR, baby. Here we
from
go.
the Soviet Union, and we now have one of those in the
No
game.
way,
Ladies
what
and
is
Oh,
it?
the
gentlemen,
tank, you
welcome.
clown.
The MiG-21
MiG-21.
USSR.
Ah, there you go, okay.
Premium MiG-21
Oh, the
fighter
time is
jet.
still not
It
here,
is
Tech.
roughly
Yeah,
similar
Jesus.
to the PFM in
Still waiting
performance.
for the
It has a very nice pre-order
T72
camo, which
or
sadly I don't
the
have available.
or
on the
T55.
but I can show you the hangar and what
So
these
this is
stats
the
are.
German rank 6
We'll
plan.
be switching over into
Yeah,
ranked
they
mode.
said
There
it was
we go.
similar to the
I am
PFM
glad
in nature.
that we do have a not completely terrible amount of ammunition in this thing.
Yes, quite.
You have a 23mm cannon.
I
with
mean,
200
it
rounds,
adds on
which
to
is
all
not
of the
that
other
much. This cannon is
premiums at
extremely
9.7,
quick
so-
firing.
Yeah.
So in a few seconds, that ammo load is going to be gone. In terms of secondary loadout, you can carry up to 4 R3S or R missiles. The R missiles
yeah.
being the radar-guided ones, the
Similar
S
to the
missiles
Draken
being the
then,
infrared-guided
and what
ones.
they've given it.
These are not the best
I
missiles
guess
out there.
missiles
They
are a bit
don't
better
have
because
the
it was those radar
strongest
ones, but
G
still.
pull.
Yeah, I don't think I've
But
used
you
them,
can
though.
surprise some
R3S
people
is a really
in
shit.
head-ons, for example, if you get a decent radar.
But then again, as I said, the
with the
J35A
R3Rs.
has AIM-9Bs, so...
This is the base camo. There will be a very nice pre-order camo, which should hopefully be announced soon.
Yes,
when
it's really
the pack
nice.
is announced.
Absolutely
It's actually
really
really nice. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. And soon you will be able to fly some MiG-21 in the German tech tree.
21.
Well, yes, kind of.
What's
Okay.
9 plus
Yes.
10?
Next up, we have the USSR, and USSR is getting an interesting naval vessel over there, Tom.
Yeah, we have a brief look. A bit of
Oh,
a
shit.
more, I guess, versatile coastal
Oh,
ship.
coastal.
The
Fuck is that thing?
MPK-PR 201M.
Oh,
they've
it's
never
got those
really had
25
many
millimeters.
sort
Those things are
of
super
out there
strong.
nicknames for these sorts of ships, so it's quite difficult to actually remember
Oh, no,
what
this
they
one
were
is gonna
called.
be good then.
It's
Yeah.
a pretty nice example. It's quite different to any of the ones we've seen before. Has the dual 25mm mounts, which
Has
are
a
really, really
ton of
effective,
mortars
in
on the
ships
front.
against light vehicles.
Why?
Vehicles like ships and aircraft as well.
God,
So
man.
it's pretty good.
Mortars,
It's a bit
those are
slow
the
to
things that
unwieldy, so actually
auto-fire,
putting
like
both
the
the
crew
guns on
fires
target to
automatically.
fast maneuvering
I
ship
don't
is a
know.
little bit difficult. But it also does have the mortars at the front, which are pretty nice, although because of the dead zone, obviously, in the front, they need to be handled very high, which can make aiming them very difficult. But with a bit of practice, they can knock out destroyers, etc. pretty easy. So it's a pretty nice one. I like
And
stuff
you
like
have
this
your
that's a
mind
little bit
stick.
different.
One of you.
And
One of your
it'd
favorite
be nice
editions.
additions to these sort of
I like
earlier,
mines. They're just not
coastal-
very
well,
good.
late for coastal blue water battles.
They made them better, though.
Okay, next up
Yeah,
we
how about
have
you tie
a
yourself to
new
one?
Sprut. In the last update, we introduced the 2S25, which is
Sprut.
situated over... Yeah, this is the wrong tech tree,
Sprut.
actually. Oh, sorry.
Sprut game.
Oh,
Which is
that was a
situated over
funny
here in tech
meme
tree,
tech.
and
Did you
this
catch
update
that?
We are bringing you a
No.
new one. Oh,
It's the
the
SU-25.
2S25M.
Oh, was it?
This is an upgraded version of
Is
the
it good?
SPRUT-SD.
Represented you with the
It
SU-25.
features
Whatever.
a high penetration shell, the 3BM46,
I
which
mean,
is
if
quite
you haven't
decent,
worked
as
out, the
well
presets
as the addition
also
of
have the
commander
wonderful
sights
lyrics
and
to
thermals, which is
that meme
rare
song,
in
but I
Soviet
can't remember the
vehicles of
name.
this era.
Yes.
You do
Never
have
gonna
a vision
give you
on the
up,
commander
never
side
gonna
as
let
well, which
you
is
down.
quite
Oh,
nice.
Never gonna
there.
run
Overall, the
around
profile
and
is pretty much the
desert
same. This
you.
is still an previous tank like the SPRUT-SD was before it as well. And it's basically a slight upgrade over the previous version. At Battering 10.0, you can.
I'd
do
say it's a
nice
pretty big
lineup
upgrade.
with it.
Like,
You are, of course,
better
using
round,
top of the tank,
thermals.
which is
pretty
where
nice.
the addition of this shell helps. And
Now
you
it
also
can more
have
effectively join the
anti-tank
top
guided
tier
missile
rank.
firing
Yeah.
through
He doesn't
the
like
barrel, which is quite nice. This one sadly is not a tandem warhead, so it is.
This is
not
base because
going
do you
to
know that?
be, it's not going to be easy to go through ERA depending on the strength, but you can still use it against helicopters and the like. Now,
Yeah, I'm
you may
happy to
notice
see
I have a
this.
P8 in my lineup.
Dun,
And you may
dun,
also know
dun.
that this update is not called groundbreaking for nothing. We do indeed have a.
What do you think about the
nice
name
new thing,
groundbreaking?
which
I think it's okay.
is,
It's
ground
alright.
information.
It's alright.
Bombs will
It's better
now
than
leave craters
starfighters.
in the ground, which
Or
will
Black
affect the
Shark.
way that vehicles
Or
drive.
Black Shark.
As well as we have some
The
other
classic.
mechanics we're going to be showing you later
If
on.
we compare it
But
to
I'm going
those,
to
it's
quickly set up a
I
custom
can
Great
name it, I
title.
don't know,
and
new
Tom,
tanks
I'm going
would be
to
better.
ask you
New
to bring a
tank.
tank. I'm going to bring out
Update,
the
new
P8,
tank.
and we are going to do a live test of the ground information, how it affects the map, if it is going to be impossible to leave a crater if you fall into one, all the good stuff. Now the question is, what kind of map do we want to use?
One with a big field.
Red Desert might not be a bad one. I think I've seen a lot of people concerned that Red Desert was going to be unplayable because of bomb craters. So we're going to do Red
Mate, I
Desert.
doubt it.
Red
I
Desert.
fucking doubt it. I've only seen it 3 times since it's been released. Who the fuck's like, oh yeah, Red
Okay,
Desert's the
battle
problem? No,
is
people were talking about
mostly
Sinai.
this.
Like fucking
Should
goddamn
you
Red
I don't
Desert.
American
There you go.
desert.
And let's
Yeah,
get
maybe
into the
American
custom
Desert.
battle
Maybe if I
versus
saw Red
Desert.
Desert more, I'd be more bothered about it. Fuck. I still haven't seen Spaceport, by the way.
I'm going to be
Freaking-
flying out the
freaking Red
P8
Desert,
with
man, the
the
gigantic
proper
ass map
5,000
that we
kilogram
can just
bomb,
travel
the biggest
around.
bomb we have in the game, to see
Fucking
how
Red
it
Desert.
affects the map. And I'm going to bring out the 2S25 M to also test out the mobility of the vehicle.
True.
Did you upgrade yours?
Yes, it should be.
Okay, very good.
I believe, yeah.
Now, spawn on the right side. Actually, left side. Left side has more.
The
open
problem
desert
with the
area.
Red Desert's so big, it's
And
going to take
I'm
them
going
ages to
attempt
set
drop
this
a
up
bomb.
as well.
Not exactly quite
Just do like
directly
Sinai.
on you, but
It's
close
a lot
enough.
easier.
Do American
Be
desert.
Yeah?
gentle.
Yes.
Oh, I hope you can't. I hope you don't get
It
crated on
is
American
technically our
Desert.
first time.
Like in your
doing
spawn.
bombs on
Fuck,
maps
man.
like this.
Like
Yeah,
on
it's
on
our
Red
first
Desert, it's
one.
gonna be a crater. Oh, there's a
Okay.
crater. I can just
All
bypass
right,
it on
as you
this
can see-
gigantic
hold
ass
on,
map.
I made a little mistake. Let me just quickly actually grab the correct bomb.
What
I'm
a
sorry.
mistake at a mic.
I'll just knock about on this for the time being. Very pretty. It's also got the
Late-
the
late green
little
camo, always a
MG
classic.
at the back, similar to the Marder.
A man of
Okay, it's not a bad position
taste.
for that one at least.
Taste.
Yeah.
I hated the
Yeah,
back mounted one
not
on the
really.
Marder.
Very nice thermals as well for Russian
Yeah,
vehicles.
it's Gen 2
Yeah, the
thermals.
2S25 and the
Obviously 3 crew, same
BMD4,
autoloader.
They both had really, really nice thermals
Slightly,
for Russian
it's
vehicles.
better round,
The Sound
better,
vehicles kind of
better
suffered
optics.
from
There you
late
go.
development
Done.
into
It's
commander
upgraded
sites
in
and
just the
thermal
right
imaging,
places.
Exactly.
which is
That's
why
what you
most of
need.
the Russian
should be
MPs
nice.
tend to not have the greatest of either. But with some of these editions, these more modern,
I got that
infantry
coastal
fighting
map
vehicle
once,
editions,
the
you
Sunken
can
City
actually
one.
get some very, very competitive thermal sites.
Yes, absolutely.
Alright, I have brought my P8 with the correct bomb this time. I need to actually quickly check
5
on the map where you
kilometers
are.
from
So
the
you're heading
target.
towards the A cap, yeah? Don't
Yeah.
advance too much, I don't want to bomb you directly.
Anything you
I
wanna
don't
shout
want
out
to
in the
hurt
big
you,
match?
Tom.
I
You're too
understand.
precious to me.
That's very sweet.
And this is a rather big bomb. that's
Shout
a
out
very
Biggie,
well-armored vehicle. Okay,
2-pack,
I'm going to drop a bomb behind you.
Shout out Lord of
Grandmaster
the Wings.
Flash,
if I don't
Lord
kill
of the
you.
Wings.
It's going to be essentially right in the middle of the
That's what
open
we
area.
wait.
Now, a few points on the ground information of these bombs.
Big up.
It does not have
Because
any near
liquid-
solid
liquid
objects.
tech.
It's an artistic choice, gameplay balance choice as well. If you drop a bomb in a city near buildings or near rocks like this, the crater won't form. It is
Okay,
only
that's
in
good then.
more open, soft terrain where you can do that. You're very close there, Tom.
Okay, maybe adjust course a bit.
I'm trying to. Okay, bomb out.
Don't do it too
Best of luck,
close or
Tom.
it's gonna
Okay,
kill
I'll
him.
try.
Yeah,
Just
just
be
blow
a
him
crater.
up.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think
Because
it's
it's really
overpressured to
Tom's
fuck. Like,
The risk is retreating.
And
It's too
you
close.
survived.
Ah, there you
nice,
go.
there we go.
All right, now do we actually have a crater is the question.
I'd hope so.
Small family crater.
Small family crater. Now,
So this is technically
is
the
going to
biggest
drive
crater
into
you
the
can
crater.
get in the game.
and show you
on the most suitable
how
terrain
difficult
you
or
can
how
do.
easy it is to actually get out of it.
We will
Let's see how big it is.
I have a feeling people are going to be a little bit
Oh
disappointed.
no,
about
there's a
this.
crater in Red
right
Desert
now, it's
Tech.
not
What
the
will you
biggest
do?
crater in the
Oh
world.
no,
I believe,
we'll have to go
well,
around.
It's still very preliminary. But
We'll
it's got a
have
bit
to
of depth.
traverse
You
it
can
in
mostly
the
hide
most
in
difficult
private
way
in this.
possible. It's not that
Oh
which is
yeah,
quite
that's
cool.
fine. God damn.
These craters can be
What a
formed
surprise!
by
All
any
the people
bomb,
fucking
with
being
a
like, it's gonna break the
overblowing
game!
shit again.
Yeah,
or
what a
more.
surprise! It's not
Of
that
course,
bad.
depending on the size of the
Who could
bomb
have seen
and
that
explosive
coming?
yield, the craters are going to have different radiuses and different depths. A 50-kilogram bomb is not going to be quite
It's
as
small
powerful
as
a
hell. I
5-ton
mean,
bomb,
it's
of
pretty.
course.
It's still
But
big,
you can do
but
some
it's
decent
the
stuff.
the main thing
course,
is
the
Pretty
tank
much there's no
entirely.
issues of
like
getting
the
out of the crater
angles
either.
that the
Your
fucking
mobility is not going to be
the angles
stopped,
are not that
so
bad.
no worries
So
about
most
that.
things should be able to
I
get
actually
out.
want
The
to see
other
if I can
crater
bump the crater
actually,
again to see
like
if
from
it
the
goes
IL-28,
any
was worse than this
bigger
one.
or any
Give it
deeper.
a try, yes. Give it a try.
So do quickly evacuate the area. I'm going to make a turn around.
I don't know what this is for
and
expecting
see
the
if I
fucking
can
Krakatoa.
drop a bomb again in roughly the same area. Not quite in the same area. I want to widen the crater a little bit, but we shall see.
I'll try and hide.
Oh, double
with some
bomb?
Rubble.
Oh yeah, I
And
actually was
bombs
gonna
away.
ask about this
I'm going to watch the explosion
to see
from here.
like what happens if you have two next to each other.
And there we go. Okay, now we have 2 craters.
So does
Let's see
it
how it looks
open
on your
up then,
POV, Tom.
or how does it work?
UV.
Do they
Big
act
old
like
bit of smoke.
independent craters?
We'll
Yeah.
investigate once it clears.
The P8 does leave quite a smoke plume with that big bomb.
And in
that
fact, that
for
is gonna be pretty cool to see is all the debris, like the sand splashing from the
Doesn't
wall.
seem too bad.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a pretty
Yeah,
good
we
effect
have
from the
2.
future.
That
Chat is doing exactly what I thought they would. Fantastic.
Oh, what the fuck is that bit? I
Yep.
mean,
I wasn't planning on that, I
a
swear.
little bit buggy, but
Yeah, I
okay,
mean,
it's
even
still
on
fine.
That's pretty steep terrain, no problems of getting out of it. Keep in mind, we are in realistic mode. This is a
Yeah,
realistic
you're
mode
also in a
custom battle. This is
sprut.
not arcade
Try something with a
boosted
little
physics,
bit
so
less fucking
yeah, I
horsepower.
think it's safe to say you
Try
need
out
not worry
the
too much about getting stuck
P28
in bomb
Yeah,
craters.
exactly.
It's a nice little feature
Like,
that adds to the well,
Just try it
immersion of
out
the
with
game, as well as maybe serving some tactical purposes.
like
You
with
can maybe drop
like
a
a
bomb
medium
tactically
tank
somewhere so that your team can take
from
cover
like
in a
mid
wide open
tiers,
field.
like a
Yeah,
I
I
don't
love
know,
that.
It kind
like
of
I'd like to
adds
see a
another
Pershing
purpose to
or
bombs, which
something
is
like that, or a
something I
Sherman,
didn't really ever expect happening.
or a Panzer
But,
IV.
that's pretty cool. I like that.
You know, something around
Like, I
the
think
P8
thing,
actually will be out.
For me, the one thing I really like about War Thunder, and I keep playing it, is that it's like the dynamics of just playing it, because it's like, I think the thing that I like about it is that the gameplay to me is like
You
you're
can
basically
turn on
given a
reloads
tool
in
and,
custom
you need
battles,
to do
Basil.
something with it, and this kind of gives you more ways to use that, and that's just to me is a big W, and I like that a lot.
Just like this map,
Big
it's
dubs.
sandbox.
Yeah, so you can just sort of
Big ups.
I don't know, it adds more. It really adds more, and I really like that. It's something I wasn't really expecting to happen, to be honest. But
Yeah, I'm happy to see it.
definitely
It
not
looks
upset
really
when I see
nice.
I'm impressed
Like,
it's actually
you know.
happening. That's not an easy technical achievement, I have to say.
Indeed.
Alright, so that is bombs. We of course have other types of terrain deformation to show off later on when we get to Great Britain, which we are going to move on into right now. You may have seen in the trailer, certain tanks are going to get some plows, which you can use to...
Yeah, the
essentially
wheeled
do some
vehicles are
farming
probably going to
simulator
struggle a bit from
2021.
it.
Yes.
Alright, let's move on to Britain then,
We'll see.
and this time, for the first time ever, and I hope you guys realize how special this is, I am going to
Unironically
present a
English.
ship. I know, hold on. Hold your Z's.
Yep.
This one's actually quite interesting.
Marlborough.
I'm not a naval player, really.
It's a
I
cheap,
am actually
it's
quite impressed by
whatever,
this
just
one.
show it.
If you like big guns, you're going to be as well. This
Oh.
is
The
the
Marlboro.
HMS...
The
How
Marlboro.
do you pronounce it, Tom?
Big guns.
Marlborough, I think.
Marlboro, okay. I'm
Marlborough.
never going to be able to
Bruh.
pronounce that right.
Bruh.
Marlboro.
Bruh.
Marlboro.
It has the new
Marlboro.
biggest guns in the game.
Marlboro.
I'm just going to
Marlboro.
go straight into it.
Marlboro.
343mm guns.
Are they bigger than the
Just say
The
bruh
Yugas
and
guns?
add mal to
I
it. Marlborough.
believe
you go.
so. Let me check just in
Yuger
case.
is
HMS
350.
Chivy.
Oh, okay, never mind. It doesn't have the biggest guns. However, it has the most explosive filler though.
True.
88 kilograms of TNT equivalent on this HE shell. To put it a bit into perspective, the Paris Commune,
Quite
the
big.
Russian battleship we introduced in the last patch,
the
had
Sebastopol.
a 55 kilogram TNT equivalent warhead on its HE shell.
What about
on the
that
upgraded one?
Really
This was already
powerful
pretty damn
Japanese
good.
one. The
This beats
forgot
it
that
by
Yuga.
quite a bit.
yeah.
Let's just
Yeah,
say
it
you
still
don't
should
so
have
much
more, I think. Or at least close to.
mildly inconvenient ships as you just rip straight big holes into the sides. I've gotten so many kills by sinking ships. It's kind of amazing. You just essentially destroy their hull and make them sink very, very, very quickly. And I am quite a fan of that. I'm going to be taking this thing out into custom battles. You can join us on the streams in the next few weeks as well, after the patch drops. And we're going to see what these HE can do against tanks. That's going to be quite interesting.
That's actually going to be very fun, yes.
It is.
I'm sure it'll be able to kill them because it's a fucking huge gun.
I don't know what to make of that, Tom.
Look at the boy.
What?
Hello, boy.
What is that?
It's the Istervark, I believe it's pronounced. This is a new British anti-air vehicle, which is filling a gap that has been a gap for a bit too long. I think a lot of people have been waiting for something like this. And it does look a bit like a combine harvester or something. But this is a very interesting vehicle, certainly one I had no idea even existed. Incredibly lightly armored, as you can see. And
I've got a brand new combine harvester, and I'll give you for free.
T20. So the same thing to expect in terms of penetration and performance. So I can give you.
I've got 20 acres, and you've got 33.
Test drive with this thing.
I've got a brand new combine harvester.
As you can probably see for yourself, the dead zone of the cabin is pretty big. So that's not super. It's not stabilized either, but the gun is, as always, very, very damaging.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Good. And I believe it's a little bit slower.
And the model is superb. Like I don't know how else to put it. Whoever made this, well done. Fantastic job.
Which is great. And you can also sit in the cabin as well.
Oh, that is
proper. How relaxing is that?
Honestly, between that thing and us being able to now plow the fields, this is just Farming Simulator X War Thunder crossover.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
Nice.
I can't believe someone actually made that, because it looks straight out of Crossout.
It kind of does, yeah. Like it looks like
it's what happens when you have limited resources.
It's interesting, like
a fucking army trying to kill you.
Game. Like you can see where the
and a lot of mines everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Do some
I feel like I've used this gun in that game as like a deployable thing.
Like, there's a ton of really cool and unique South African stuff, and I'm glad that it gets represented in War Thunder.
I can't imagine this thing working too well in real life. The center of gravity is so damn high.
What, as a Brit
I'm surprised you
bonger?
don't flip over when you turn.
Yeah, like
I'm just happy it's in the British crew.
Do your Commonwealth feels represented?
So yeah, not quite as
does it feel stunned and brave?
In terms of actual like filling a gap that was very much needed, this thing is going to do a really good job, I think.
Look at the gunner's right hand. Yeah, it's working overtime. He's going to have arthritis.
And it makes so many more lineups like viable with anti-air, because the Crusader A Mark 1 and 2.
Do you feel bypassing UN
like the Mark II
arms embargoes?
But
I feel like I do.
Nothing like this, so it's going to be pretty good. Pretty good to see this thing.
Honestly, guilty admission here. I don't actually care about the lineups at all. I just want to try bringing this thing out into a map like Spaceport, where you have those construction sites.
Yeah.
And I want to see how Lion can survive standing still, and see if people confuse me with construction equipment.
That's quite a good idea, actually.
That is amazing.
See that. Definitely.
Okay.
5 seconds.
Now, Britain has something else which is not new, but rather it is a
really
update to
that kind of an
a
audience,
quite old vehicle, which we actually played yesterday on the official stream as well.
Let's see.
This is
Avery.
the Avery. This is a
big chunky
you can currently get in the game, and for the longest time it had this plow in the front, which couldn't really be used. Well, that was until now. We are introducing a new mechanic to the game. Right now, only a few tanks on the dev server are going to have a plow that can be deployed.
So weird seeing it with
but hopefully
our plate exposed
hard
like
that.
Yeah, true.
After the patch, hopefully every tech tree nation should have at least one vehicle of.
Every tech tree nation will have one.
Well,
that's
best
cool.
to describe it.
Yeah.
This. Oh, wrong. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Farming Simulator 2022. I have a feeling the Germans are going to really enjoy this.
I think so, yes.
You can now dig into the ground and build your own little mods.
Why?
Which is
do the Germans have a fame of
the Germans really like playing simulator games for some reason. Like a lot of the shit simulators you see are made by Germans.
Essentially solid coverage are going to absorb.
I don't know.
My brother showed me one yesterday that was
very upset for
mowing lawn simulator.
Very much so.
My favorite is rock simulator.
This is pretty much loose dirt. It's
where
not
you just
compacted
are a
dirt,
rock.
which means it's not very effective at stopping rounds.
Yep.
You have to make a very thick wall if you want to stop modern APF-SDS rounds, for example. And
Right, so
that
it
is
does
kinda
have
going to
like
dig you
different
quite deep in a
qualities
way
to
that you
it.
can't
That's
really,
cool.
well, shoot
that's
out
really
of.
good.
Currently, the Type 90 also has an addition of a plow, which is actually going to be quite useful in combination with the hydropneumatic suspension, where you can adjust your ride height.
Get a
which may
bigger
allow you to
digger.
look over hills like
Yeah.
this. But there you go. You can create your own pretty much makeshift cover in the middle of a field if you so desire.
The other day
And
they
if you
were
want to,
mentioning to me
I
that
could
we
quickly
could be
retract
seeing
the plow.
the American
It's actually
equivalent to
really
these
Jaguar A,
things, the
but you can fire
728
over them.
combat engineer
So
Yeah,
vehicles,
that's
that's
actually
the
really,
M60.
that's actually really
the
true.
plow.
I didn't think about that.
Hopefully.
The
That's
stop.
going to be pretty fun.
You can still drive over it, no problem if you so
No,
prefer.
Centurion.
I said this is the first time I got stuck.
No problem.
I knew in my head it was
Father
gonna happen.
slow.
I felt my heart.
was just
just
bound to
It's
happen.
an Avery, give it chance.
Alright,
There you
go.
go.
Just a little
There.
bit of And there you go. You can now go across entire
have risen
fields
from
and
the dead.
plow them with your friends if you want to. I'm just going to quickly deploy
Risen
the plow
from the
again and
absolute
show you what happens if you go across a
non-notoriety
field
that
like this,
they
for example.
had before.
Now
that
keep in mind
water
there are
there?
limitations, much like
Yeah.
with the bombs. You cannot just
It's
create
just-
craters
wow,
anywhere
we
and
dug down
everywhere
to
you
water.
want.
Goddamn.
There are limitations. You cannot do it
It's a very
on
damp terrain
streets,
thing.
for example.
Yeah.
You cannot do it near buildings. You kind of have to go on soft terrain like earth, sand. I haven't tested snow yet, actually. That could be something we can try later on, if you have some time. But you can do your own fields. You cannot just continuously push earth, by the way.
We're
It has a certain distance where
cultivating.
essentially drops the earth that you have accumulated so far, so it creates a little, essentially, hillway, which I have a feeling
That's pretty cool.
for custom battles, we can make our own ramps and then
Yes,
have
we
people
can.
drive off them with wheeled vehicles at top speed.
That's quite
Yeah,
cool.
pretty much.
That is going to be amazing, actually.
If you sort of plow a bit near water, does the water fill the hole in?
It does not quite. Sometimes it depends on the depth of the hole. It depends
Okay.
on the base water level, essentially.
Interesting.
There's a maximum depth of how much you can dig, of course. You cannot just create a hole to the center of the earth. I believe it's 1.5 meters down. And the maximum height of the
there you
earth
go.
fill should also be
1.5
around
meters.
1.5
Yeah,
meters.
so
As
same
you can
as
see, you can
enlisted.
add on to the width
Enlisted.
of it, essentially, and the wider you
Another
make it, the more
trendsetter
effective it is going to be as armor. But of course,
But
keep in
new
mind, it's
voices?
not
No,
quite
that's
solid
out of the
ground,
question.
so it is not going to be stopping everything and anything. It's a nice addition, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Burrito, Leah.
Next up, we have something for Japan. Now, this
Ooh,
isn't quite
Japan.
a new vehicle. It is in fact the F4EJ
It's not a
We
new
have shown
vehicle.
this in, well, the last
Time 90
released in
probably.
the last patch.
Let's
But
see.
it is getting a interesting new addition. The F4EJ Kai is getting JDAMs.
J-dams.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Wild.
Oh,
Crowd
JDAMs
goes mild.
JDAMs
Ooh.
are American guided bombs. These are quite useful for taking out certain stationary objects that you want to destroy at a longer range.
500
In
pounds?
this game, you can bind them together
Yeah.
with the, I think it's CCRP, the acronym.
That
I can't
ain't
recall
too-
what the name for this, but
that ain't much.
essentially you can control from the
Whatever.
cockpit and designate
No, it
a
isn't.
certain
I mean-
target at a
Woo!
bombing point. And
You can do
the
that,
bombs will light
or
themselves.
16 750s
In
with
fact,
a
I'm
bombing
going to quickly try
computer.
this out in a test flight
Which
to
are you
show
gonna
you.
pick?
And
I don't
as a
know.
Pick
test, I'm going
the.
to
I
go
think this one
into-
is
sorry.
it's
What-
similar
what
to the
else?
American
Go
one,
into
right?
a
It's
custom
probably
battle, because I want to
11
show you how
1000s. I'll
you
take
can
those
use
guys.
this not too effectively in ARB if you want to bomb some stuff, but hopefully in a decent
Maybe if
way.
they take
So
away the bombing
let's go to,
computer,
for example,
maybe then
Afghanistan.
you,
I think
you know,
Afghanistan is a nice
start
one to start
using
with.
these things.
We're going to go into realistic mode. Yes.
Why are you
aviation,
saying
I do
these
want to
things?
bot the
Like, what are you
distance.
saying?
Okay, is good.
I'm trying to make it so they're
Let's
actually
go
usul,
into
you
this
know?
custom battle and show
Instead of
you
having
the
just the arcade
JDAMs.
bomb marker, which
Now,
everyone uses
JDAMs
anyway.
are not like the guided bombs we showed on the
Don't listen to this man, he's insane.
F7E,
He's a maniac.
American new jet we showed at the start of the stream. They cannot by themselves guide themselves to moving targets. You have to designate a fixed point, and that is where the bomb is going to go. You cannot lock on to moving targets and have the bombs destroyed in that way.
Oh,
So
okay.
essentially, these
So,
bombs are more
same as the
for
MiG-21 ones.
destroying maybe stationary vehicles, of course, if you can designate
So they're gonna
those.
model all of them
But
as
it's more,
that?
it's more
Not even the
for
walleye?
destroying
I think
bombing
he's
points,
just talking about these ones.
buildings,
Ah, fair.
AA positions maybe, all that good stuff. Okay, we are going to be taking off with the F4EJ Kai. One important thing to note, these are guided bombs, not guided rockets, which means The reach of them is going to be entirely depending on your own altitude and your own speed. Essentially, the bombs carry the momentum from your aircraft. You can also not drop these bombs above Mach 1. So you have to be subsonic or very close to transonic in order to be able to drop these.
Fair enough.
I mean, I know it's realistic, and yeah, this is a cool mechanic. Literally useless.
I'm going to go to my multifunctions menu.
Like, I don't know how else to put
over
it.
to the cockpit.
There is no use in this on something like a Phantom.
Button 6, which is switch mission bombing target.
Don't listen to him.
As you can see, it outlines a red square, and
This
on the
is
top
cool
left,
and
you can also
based.
see that the bomb is now locking the target. So, let's drop, let's say 2 over there. And I'm also going to go 2 over there. I'm not sure if they're going to reach that far. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just using the A4E mechanic.
Okay, we're going to be following the bombs.
It's a cool mechanic.
As you can see, they guide themselves pretty effectively.
Just pointless.
You kind of have to get a feel for how fast you have to travel or how high you have to travel in order to be able to give them enough
At least you
energy
can just
to
have
get
an
there.
air rally stick to bomb the bases from afar.
But they are going.
Yeah,
And just to show
500-pound
you,
bomb.
I have dropped a
Great.
bomb, 2 bombs
250s.
each on that target, and that target was flying in the middle of them. Are both going to be hit, is the question. Might take a while.
Now you can piss off bomber pilots and strike
yes, they
aircraft
were.
even more
So you
by
can
not
attack
destroying
multiple targets
bases.
at the same time, or if you happen to like bombing in LRB or any other game,
Shared
really,
revenue.
you don't have to go directly to the target to drop bombs. You can kind of fake people out, actually. You can fly towards one bombing target and actually drop the bombs on the other one if they are close enough.
Who cares? They're just gonna shoot you. They don't give a fuck where you're
Alright,
bombing.
Next up, we have... what do we have?
You're just faking out your own teammates at that point.
I mean, it's the stuff.
Like-
It only
Damn
carries
it.
4.
Yeah, it only gets 4.
Oh,
Oh, here we
shit.
go. Big money.
This is some real ordnance.
Big money.
Comes after the V11.
Hey, it has
So,
2 500. It has the
pretty
equivalent
much
of the other
universally
thing.
improved
Oh no, it has
version.
1 500.
And it's okay. Its flight performance is better than the V11, which was notoriously very stiff to control. This gets the 250 cals in the nose.
Yeah,
2 defensive gunners,
that thing right there
above
is
the
just
level.
designed
It's
to
quite
troll
nice.
your
A lot of
team.
these
It
vehicles
doesn't
usually
troll
only
your
have a double
fucking
tip.
enemies.
So
They don't give a fuck
it's
where
nice.
your
I
bomb
like that
goes.
stuff. I think it's kind of fun to add more vehicles to that kind of area.
Like, oh, he
It's
juked
always
me.
fun.
Wait, he's
And,
still going in a straight line,
nice.
though.
It's nice to have a vehicle with 50
Where's
cals
the
at this tier, because
CLT?
they are, at
Where's
least
the
for
CLT?
Oh, true.
lower
Where is
ranks,
it?
incredibly effective at top-down attacks.
If they
50
don't
cals
show the
pretty much
CLT,
rip
Tech
through the
loses a
roof
hand.
of almost
Just saying.
any low-tier vehicle, really, at least at this battle rating. So for combined battles, it's pretty good. That's the same bomb loadout as the previous version.
Hell
the
yeah.
500 or the 250. So it's not the most overwhelming
Only
in
a
terms of,
quarter
round
of
ordnance,
that
but
Phantom's
for what it
bomb
is, it's
load.
pretty
Oh,
fun.
that's
It's a vehicle I would rather
1.7.
have than not have.
Literally
That's
a
really nice.
broken vehicle.
I am very much a fan of low battle rating in no
Well, it had
250s.
250, so that's about like 25%.
This is not the only thing that China
Oh,
is
it's
getting. We are
the
also
truck
going
comes
to be
here, by the
providing
way.
you with the ZLT.
There you
Early
go.
morning ones.
New
There
You'll
it
have
is.
your-
Big
You'll
one.
have your hands intact.
105 millimeter cannon.
9-3,
It
okay.
can fire
Thermals?
a proxy fuse
Oh, that's a new round.
which is going
Yeah,
to be
for the
quite
one
useful
DCW.
against helicopters
that new?
and
Yeah.
low-flying aircraft. If you can get
Yeah, because
a
that
decent
Type
aim
83 it's
in.
pretty much
You
a
get this
copy
new
of the
APFS
DM23 for
shell,
the
which you can
105.
see the stats of here.
Oh, that's
if
pretty.
you
It's
want
like
to,
a
compared to
DM20.
the
It's like a
previous Type
DM33 for the
APS.
105. That's pretty good.
Yeah. 9-3,
And
not
you
bad.
also have this barrel launched
you have the HE
tandem
proximity
ATGM,
round.
which is really quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that a lot.
750 millimeters penetration. You can defeat ERA with this tandem warhead charge, of course.
Yeah.
And because it is barrel
An
launched,
approved
I
replacement
am
for
hoping
the
that it will
PTLO2.
also be fired while on the
Thank you,
move.
Gaijin. Very good.
Very cool.
You also get thermals, and this one also gets tank command
Also,
thermals,
in
which
night
is quite
battles.
nice.
Oh, wait, the
And
Z2
yeah, it's gonna
Z96 is
be
at
an interesting
9-3,
addition
right?
to the Chinese 9.3
Yeah.
lineup. Next up, we have the Italians.
Only that
Starting off
exists.
with Daphne.
The Italians?
Premium boot. Little,
Oh,
premium
the
destroyer.
Tigre.
The
Yeah, of
Tigre.
course. Yeah,
Well,
this
yeah.
is
It's
already
not
in a
bad one.
devblog.
Has 8 main caliber
It's
guns.
the same
which
as
is
the,
pretty
or
okay
very
for a destroyer
similar
like
to
that.
the one in the
They're not the
Tech
most
tree already.
damaging destroyer.
Gay
all
as
these,
chips.
particularly
Oh, well,
particularly
very cool.
not the best,
Whoa,
quite low
I'm gonna
in
use
terms
it
of
to
TNT
grind the
equivalent.
Italian blue wire.
Reload as well, not incredible, but they're really accurate. I found. I was giving it a go earlier, and they pretty much land in a perfect line. So these are really accurate guns, relative to your crew, of course. So it's nice. It's nice to have a tier 3 G premium. I don't think Italy had one before that you could really
Play the one in the tech tree. It's got a really good lineup
it's
with
an
it.
analog to the version in
It's
the
a fantastic lineup of 4.7 already. You don't need this.
Except this version.
It's rank
changes
3.
the anti-armor
Hey, if you ever
really,
comes to the Warbond
similar
shop
for
for
all,
free, I
premium
may be
ships,
getting
really. They're
it.
Oh,
usually
true,
variants that are on
yeah.
the main tree, but with
I get the
slightly
Spitfire
better
treatment.
defense, and this gets to 76mm guns. I'm not sure where they are. They're somewhere.
Finally,
these have
Tiger
the
at
VT shells on
4.7
them, so
historical
it's a little bit better in terms of
BRs.
defense, a little bit more forgiving, and yeah, nice to have a little premium for all the Italians at tier 3.
It's nice.
Speaking
No
of
point in
Italians,
it.
do you
Just
guys
grind the
like
tech
Dardo?
tree. It's pretty fun.
The vehicle introduced, I believe, last patch or a few patches ago.
Well, like I say, Italians
That's
didn't have
lively.
any premiums.
What if I told you could have a bigger gun on
Okay.
it? Welcome the VCC 80/30. This is basically a
the
Dardo
other
with a
Dardo.
30mm cannon. Very rapid
Bushmaster.
firing, very
No.
nice access to AP.
Oh, it has a
101.
DS
10-0?
millimeter penetration,
What?
which is really quite nice for getting through the sides of
new round.
vehicles. You
the
can
one
also
that-
equip
It has no
Total A,
thermals, no
Total
NVDs, no nothing. That must be a bug.
like on the
Yeah, it's probably not
Weasel
Ray.
we showed earlier, has quite a punch.
Are you telling me
And-
that
it doesn't
this
seem
thing
like it
goes at
actually has frames on this
10.0
one.
because
Oh.
of
Well, it's a bit
a
disappointing.
slightly
cannon-
bigger
Yeah,
gun
laser warning receiver.
Yeah, the
and an
cannon.
LWS?
And
Come on
overall,
now.
It's basically a slight upgrade to the Dardo in the tech tree. It comes even
Maybe
right
they're
after
putting
that.
up the
You can
Dardo.
use it in the 10.0 lineup if you so wish. And I have a feeling that 30mm cannon is going to be quite nasty. Quite nasty indeed. Here's a quick look at the stat card. And let's move on to France. A very interesting tech tree vehicle.
Yeah. Something that a lot of people will be happy about. EBR in the tech tree, rank 3, 4.3
Ever.
currently. This is, I believe, the same turret and ammunition as on the FL10 AMX here. I don't know if the gun is exactly the same. I think it is exactly the same. So it basically fires
same turret,
similar
same gun.
rounds to the guns, basically as an analog. The performance is very low.
M61 is really
It's
nice.
basically the same round.
So
I don't think there's
yeah.
really any deviation in terms of penetration. I think this round is different.
Do you see that for
But the
free
M61
or?
is pretty much the same. So it's one
more
of the early
players.
EBRs. It's not quite as devastating.
I'd probably
as the
put
other
it at
variants higher up in the
4.7
tree. The
personally.
mobility is very
Mm.
good. The cannon is very
The
good. from
chassis
the
seems
side,
to
even
be
from
very
the front.
good.
It's not
Like,
It
that
is,
bad at
The other
still.
one just keeps getting
And it's
higher
gonna
and
be nice
higher
to have it.
and
It's
higher.
going to add a lot to some of the lineups if you don't quite have some of the other EBRs. And it's going to add a lot, I think. There's not really any other options quite this mobile, I think, in the tree. So it's going to be nice. And yeah, not quite.
Be
as
nice
good,
to
of
run
course,
with the
as this
SA50.
is not
The
auto-loaded.
SA50 is
It's
very
it's
fun to
hand-loaded,
play.
only a couple of crew. So it's
Oh,
not
the Super
really
German? Yeah,
as
absolutely.
good
Yeah.
as the 6.0 EBR. But it's nice to have one in the tree. Really workable. It can get around the map.
Do we have
faster
anything
than
for
almost
Sweden?
Anything
Is the
really this
question.
year. So yeah, it's a really nice vehicle to see. Hopefully, a lot of people are going to be happy about that one.
By the way, I forgot to mention earlier on, I'm sorry
they're
about
probably
that.
gonna show that
Regarding
Jaguar.
the plows on the vehicles that will get them, they are a modification you have to unlock.
Oh, yeah.
Those are blade modification. Of course, on
As
the
we
two
said,
main
you can
that's
remove
good.
them
vehicles
from
have
the,
everything unlocked
Yeah.
from the
from the
get-go.
Avery now.
But on other vehicles that get plows, you
Oh,
may
I
need
wonder
to
if you
unlock the
uninstall
ability
it,
to
will
use
it
them,
uninstall it
beforehand.
from
In
the
fact,
vehicle?
I can quickly show you
Yeah,
on
from the
Chieftain
models,
Mark
now you'll
3,
see.
Oh,
which
look
is one of
at
the vehicles that are
that.
going to get this
Yeah.
plow.
Good old
If
shifting.
I disable the
Uh-oh.
dozer blade,
It's still there.
it does despawn from the
Oh!
visual
Ah,
mode.
but it
So
has the
stock,
mount.
you're not going to get
Oh,
dozer blades,
well, that's
you're going to
pretty.
have these mounting
That's
points.
ugly. Put it back.
If you want to
Yeah.
get dozer blades, you
Yeah.
have to research it first, apply the modification, and then you have
Much
a
better.
usable
There
dozer
we go.
blade.
There you go.
All right. Next up, we have
Now all the
something
camo
else of
makers
France,
are gonna
actually.
have to
Tom
redo
was
their
kind of sneaky,
camos.
not actually including it in the It's not a new jet.
Oh, is
it's
that they
Jaguar
don't
A.
paint those in real life
But
tech.
I am kind of in love with this thing. The Jaguar A was always my kind of hidden treasure. It's a kind of transonic jet, not very good. It started off with
Not
two
very
magic
hidden
missiles,
if
however,
it
which
keeps
are
going in BR.
probably
It's
the
a lot
best
of
missiles in the
Transonic?
game.
people are
anti-missiles.
playing it.
Then they got flares.
Oh yeah,
A
it is
lot
transonic.
of flares. 252, which is amazing. You can pretty much flare all day long. And now it is getting some new loadout options as well. A new modification will be added to the Jaguar A, the French one. This Atlas 2. This installs a little laser pod down here at the bottom. This is a laser designator, which you may
Yeah,
guess
that's definitely
is going
not
to work
looking
pretty
360.
well in
They're
tandem
probably
with
gonna
some,
limit that.
new
Yeah,
ordnance.
definitely.
Like, for example, what I have mounted on the plane right now. the AS-30L. This is a big Nord missile with laser-guided capabilities. It is a missile, so it does fly ahead of you. It has
The Jaguar,
one
when it
propulsion.
was added compared to now,
the
is a
laser
completely
designator on
different
Jaguar
vehicle.
A is able to track moving
When it
targets
got
as
added,
well,
it was
which is
just another
very
attacker.
useful in
Just some
ground
bomb,
RB, for example.
rocket.
Yeah, some
You also have
bombs, then it had a
laser-guided
cool
bombs,
map in the
BGL
cockpit.
400, 400 kilogram bomb.
The Jaguar
and a
is
1000
supersonic?
kilogram
Yeah, I
bomb.
thought it was.
These are in my own
Yeah, it is
personal
just
limited
that
experience
you
so
don't
far,
really,
not quite
you don't
as
really
useful
achieve those
as the
speeds most of the
laser-guided
time.
missiles,
You fly really low and it
because
bleeds a lot
you
of speed.
have to maintain a laser lock for these bombs to hit the target.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
If
Like
you fly
separate
away,
both
for
of them.
example, or if you
Like
fly
make the
outside of
standard one and then make the other
locking
one with the
range of
the
your
guiding
laser
things and all of that.
designator,
Yeah.
the bomb will go off course. So you have to maintain that it is lock, which means that with a ordnance option such as this, which does not have its own propulsion, it can often happen that you're going to outrun your own bomb, which isn't ideal. So, I'm going to quickly show you the power of the
That is true.
ASL, because honestly, the AS-30L, I'm absolutely in love with this thing. Let me quickly go into a test flight. I believe this test flight is going to have a moving target, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to figure out in a second. Yes.
We certainly will.
Okay. Now, in order to use this laser designator, once again, you can use a TV, essentially, like you can on
The wheel.
Mavericks,
Zoom.
if you prefer. I personally prefer
what
using
you-
another method. Once again, I'm going to open up my
Good,
multi-functions menu in a second when I get airborne. And I'm going to use the targeting point option from there. Let me get a little bit of separation here. If I'm not mistaken, the moving targets are on the left side over there. Are those moving right now? They are moving indeed. Okay. Now, the laser designator is pretty damn good right now.
Thank you
get
for the
some very,
subscription,
very
Random
long-range
Doverkin.
locks.
Thank you for
Of course,
continuing
keep in
to
mind,
support the channel.
laser will need to
It's very much
maintain a
appreciated.
visual contact to the target. If it drives behind a tree, you may lose the lock, as well as if it deploys smoke or stuff like that, which could actually be a consideration given that we have some vehicles with laser warning receivers, which are going to get pinged by the system. So smart players with laser warning receivers who know that the Jaguar A in the air might want to beware. Okay, I'm going to quickly turn
I'm
around.
surprised
These are
that there
some
aren't
very
more
big missiles,
vehicles
by
with
the way.
There's a chubby
LWRs.
turning circle going on right now.
I'm
Yeah.
going to deploy the flaps just to help out. I want to be
Yeah,
as
even through
above
some
as
vehicles are
possible
very
just to make
modern,
sure I
they-
don't get
They just
locked
don't
by
have it.
those
Yeah.
Because it
trees,
wasn't worth the effort.
if at all possible. Okay, let's open up my cockpit menu, activate targeting point. Let's see if we can get a solid hit there. There we go. As you can see, it is locking the moving target. I'm now going to drop my missile. Now, here's the thing. You do still need to maintain a laser lock. You have a decent angle of where you can
Can you
maintain
fire
a
them
lock,
without the laser lock?
but if
I'm
you start
guessing
immediately
not.
turning away and running
No.
away the other way, the missile will lose
Apparently.
its lock. That
You
is a
need the
consideration that you have
designator.
to have.
Yeah.
Which means that you are still sort of vulnerable to surface-to-air missiles that are fired in your direction. However, since you can use this at quite a long distance, which I'm not going to do right now just because of time concerns, but I have been able to get 10-kilometer locks with this thing, you can probably outrange some of the SAMs in this game, if you can find them. Keep in mind, of course, that in ground RB, you don't have player markers, so you have to visually spot
Yeah.
the target, which may not be the easiest thing to do. In fact, I'm currently struggling in spotting the tank. Oh, there he is. Cockpit, go into deadlock, fire off the missile, it guides itself, and poke.
Very nice.
It's a nice little addition to the Jaguar. I absolutely love this plane, and now I have an excuse to actually use
Yeah,
it in ground
they look
RB
cool.
as well.
We'll see if they're actually useful.
Okay,
Wanna give them
moving
a
on
try?
to
Yeah,
the final
definitely.
nation we're going to be showing today. We
Sweden.
have Sweden.
What's Sweden getting?
And Tom is going to be showing you a new addition
Nothing.
to
End
the
of the stream.
ground tree.
Yes. And early STRF 9040B.
There you go. A3?
Turret, I believe, is on the,
A3.
the bill. Ever so slightly different. And this version gets Gen 2 thermals for the gunner. And
At A3?
apart from that,
What?
it's pretty similar to the
Wait,
others.
what do we do?
It's another version to
EPLO
sort of
too.
bolster that lineup. Which is pretty nice. And it's good to get another one of these. Quick look at the
Why is
the-
it so low?
only
The
the one
ammo?
dart,
This
so
still
it's
has
not
the
improved
EPFS.
version. And it
Yeah,
does get
it's a
thermals,
decent one.
and I believe apart from that, it's
So it's
pretty
like
much
the
the same.
wheel
So
without the wheel?
it does bolster
Yeah,
the lineup, which
pretty
is nice.
much.
as this is quite more of a versatile light vehicle, a bit more support oriented.
I mean, that
SPR,
E3 lineup
this
is
one's
pretty
still
good
pretty
for.
aggressive, has the potential to
Yeah,
be
now with this one, it's gonna
full
be stronger.
stabilizer as well, as far as I understand.
I feel like this
So,
doesn't stay at
Yeah, not
E3.
really a huge amount to say about this
No,
one. It's very
probably
similar
not.
to other variants
We've seen that myth.
But,
I think
regardless,
they're
it's, very nice
underestimating
to
all
see
of
it
these
in the
vehicles that just rely on a
Nice to
cannon
see.
with a decent
Very much so.
gun.
Yeah.
Does it have
An auto
commander
cannon with a
thermals
decent
as
gun.
well?
I don't know if it has commander thermals.
You can
Have to
check in the
double
modifications actually. It should
People
tell
seem
you.
to be
I
really
don't
capable
know
with them.
what
It shouldn't have commander thermals.
It does have
Sorry.
firm
It
revision with
does.
commander.
What?
That's interesting. Okay.
No, but the
So,
one with the
yeah,
wheel still has it. It's
Oh,
just
it
that they
does,
can't
yeah,
mod the
they-
commander
I don't know if
side.
it's
Yeah, they haven't
same
modeled the commander
on
yet.
both, but we can check when
Hopefully
the,
now they did.
Dev server comes out.
Exactly, which is going to come out today, by the way. Quick PSA once again. The dev server is launching within, well, in a few minutes or within an hour. Make sure to join
Wonderful.
the dev server if you want
Love
to
it.
test this stuff out for
Ooh, an
yourself.
applause!
Do you like the vegan? The JA37 that we introduced in the last patch.
I am.
Well,
What are you
if
Golf
haven't
and golf,
also
I'm honest
been a
with you.
fan
don't
I'm
of
add the
indifferent.
AJ.
Swedish ground tree, you may be looking for a ground
It's the
attack version of that tank.
AJ37.
Oh, the
Hey,
playing
again.
clown.
And you will be happy to hear that, yes, we have it now.
There it
is.
AJ37.
Crowd goes
This
wild.
is a ground attacker version of the Vegan.
I
with
have an
a
attacker to
few
replace my lance
distinctions.
and
Most noticeably, you may note that I have no guns on this plane. You have
hey, that's some
essentially
top tier ordinance.
remove the gun from the fuselage itself in order to be able to accommodate other things. Right now, this is still early work. in progress. There may be other things added. I can't confirm anything right now. Just keep in mind that what you're seeing is
Oh,
all
yes.
models.
Attacker
These
version.
are the other options. You can have flares as a pod that has to be mounted.
Oh my god.
If you don't carry
Yeah,
pods, you
pros,
don't have
adequate
flares on this
loadout
plane.
options.
Guns, you can carry 2 30mm gun pods with 300 rounds total. Once again, if you don't carry the gun pods, you don't have
Thank you for the
guns.
subscription,
But
Disco
you have
Jacob.
something
Thank you
interesting,
for
which is
continuing
the
to support the channel.
RB75. These, as
God
far as
bless
I'm
the
aware, are
USA on
essentially
plane
Mavericks.
development and doctrine, because you can
So,
tell
much
what
like the Mavericks,
those
these
guys
are
can be
TV
capable of, and
guided
these guys
missiles,
just crunch 2
which
missiles
you
in,
can
okay, we're good to
use
go.
even against moving targets.
Oh, these are
if you
TV
so
guided.
desire.
I mean, those
Very,
would be
very,
pretty
very
meaty.
powerful. 50 kilograms.
Yeah, but versus you have to target and do that whole
Yeah.
It
shit,
does have a
and,
heat warhead, so
and
they
you only
should
have
no
2 of
issues in
them.
going through pretty much
And
anything
18
if they hit,
flares.
if they maintain the
No,
mark.
48.
And since you get 2 of them, you can
Yeah.
get pretty much 2 kills.
Well, it's better than
as
nothing, I
long
guess.
as you don't
Yeah,
get
you have
shot
bombs
down by
too.
a SAM.
50 kilos.
Tom is going to be
Sucks that
showing
it doesn't
you the
have any
flight
internal
performance, which is going to
guns.
be very similar to the Vegan, but
Why don't
on
they
a
keep guns
new
in,
map.
man?
A new map, and this is the sort
New
of map
map?
I've been looking forward to.
Ah, it's the
quite a
one with
while.
the
This
that
is,
desert
I
thing
believe it's,
with the Lenin
has an
statue.
arcade and realistic version, an air map.
Oh, for
Yeah,
air.
man.
It is very interesting.
Bourbon
Bourbon
Island.
Island.
Why have
Underutilized
they?
I don't remember
aspects
this
of
one in
these
arcade.
LRB maps is the terrain.
No, I think this is a new
as
one.
Usually the map is
It's
very
the
A
new
limited.
bourbon to
There's
me
not
is a
really much
biscuit,
opportunity
so
to
I
do
don't know
much with the
what
map
this
you're on.
place
It's
is.
mostly
Bourbon
just
is like
the
a
same apart from the thermodynamics.
that
and that's
royal
including
family
the,
from back in the day.
the sort of climbing paths.
Oh, it is a
But
place.
this is pretty
There's
interesting.
an island in the
because out of
Indian
all of
Ocean
these,
that
this
is an
one of the
overseas
gorges.
department and region
I'll
of
try and show
France.
you around as much of this map as I can.
Cool.
But
It's like an
it's
overseas
gonna be
territory.
Yeah.
pretty interesting because this map allows you lots of different pathways into the
It's
core
a
of the map
pretty cool
itself,
map. Look at that.
which means
Yeah.
you can dodge radar.
It's
you
like
can
that
dodge
scenes
pings,
from Independence
and you
Day,
can
where
really surprise some people, I think, potentially. So this
where
is
Will
gonna be
Smith was running
interesting.
away from the
I don't
alien
know
and throws
exactly
the
how
parachute at him.
it's going to play, of course.
If
as,
somebody
you know,
doesn't
it's
do
got-
like
I don't know, we
the
had
a Star Wars
small amount
thing,
of time to play around on it.
well, like
But it's very,
the
very nice.
from
It's very
episode
different,
was it
thematically.
episode
And,
4
the
where
way
they're
the layout
attacking the
is
Death Star and
comprised
using
basically
something like
gives you
that.
a lot of ability to pick where you want to go and
Looks like
actually make your way into the
yeah.
map.
I mean,
It's good
this
for
looks
ground
pretty
attack as
cool
well, because
actually.
you can sneak
New
around
map.
here and get
Yeah.
some
I'm good.
shots
New
off
map,
the ground
happy,
targets that are
yeah.
being pinged or
Didn't they
seen.
have like a ground
is
map
really,
as
really
well
nice.
that they showed?
Yeah, that
And there's
desert
lots
one.
of different
It's a desert with the
highland,
Lenin
lowlands to
statue
fly
and
around.
everything seemed
It's
destroyed
something
and
that I think has
scorched.
been missing
Yeah.
for quite a while.
It's probably a postal
I
from
think
a
maps like
communist
Afghanistan
country.
and City kind of got close, but this looks pretty interesting to me, and I don't know, I'm excited to play this. I've liked this, so it's the sort of thing I've been waiting for
The
quite
map
a while.
itself looks pretty
There
small.
are some interesting features on this map as well. You mentioned a certain type of mine.
Yeah, there's a
Launch
diamond mine.
missiles.
There's a
You
diamond
can have a little
mine.
bit of a flyby there. Let's have
It's
a
a
look.
diamond
hold on, let me get
mine.
this straight.
Slavery
We have
time.
now
Shit.
ground information
It's
with
the
bombs.
French at it again.
We can
We have the
dig our own
fucking
holes
labor
with
mill,
a
like the
shovel.
lumber mill.
We have a diamond mine.
On what is it, Kuban,
we going
and
to
now we
return to
have.
Oh yeah, the
yeah.
labor camp.
Now we have
We do.
the
It was
diamond
all
mine.
premonition.
It's blood diamond time.
Comes full circle.
You'll see Leonardo DiCaprio running around with the black
Especially
dude
now
from
where
Blood
the
Diamond.
diamond mine should be just ahead.
That stays true.
Now, I am actually personally more interested in the possibilities of this map in a custom battle scenario, where you can bring out helicopters and tanks as well. I think there might be some interesting fights
shit,
to be had.
it's
or
a
interesting
literal
designs
Oh, there you
to
go.
be had
It's one of those
in,
open mines.
This specific map. There's also a
It's
second
right.
area
Here's
that
your
is close to
challenge.
you.
In a Harrier,
It is. It's
go
very-
VTOL into that.
So you have a bit of
Wait
everything.
for
If you like
planes
the
to go
city
over.
air map
Hit them with
for
the
its
missiles. Bet you
flying
can't.
through buildings trying to evade radar missiles. You have a bit of that.
it has a big ass
basic area
city.
over here
Yeah.
to use. You have the
What?
ravines.
This
you
map might be
have
bigger than I thought,
canyons,
actually.
You have a lot of options. It is essentially
The
a big
French want
sandbox, and
Rhodesia
you decide
back.
on how you want to approach the battle
Damn it.
on this specific map.
Absolutely.
No Minecraft jokes today. I'm sorry.
Not quite today.
Next week. Tune in on next Thursday
Minecraft
when
jokes.
we return
What?
to our
Yeah.
regular
Or
schedule.
building, right? Or terrain
But yeah,
deformation
this is
stuff,
probably
I'm
one of the
guessing.
most secret
Ah,
missions so
fair.
far. I found out about this quite late.
I want to
and
know,
I just sort of
do
had to
AGMs and
fly that
rockets
one
and stuff
across.
make
It's
little
just-
craters,
I
or
know,
is it
maybe it's
just
a really
bombs?
kind of a more dull thing to be excited about.
I
but
guess so. Like they're still
I like
modeled
it. I like
as
things that change how
ordnance.
matches are
They
played.
have the
and a map
explosive
like this
feeler
can
and
really do
everything.
it. There's so many opportunities to kind of hide and use the
Yeah,
map.
maps are much more
to your
interesting than new
advantage, basically,
vehicles.
and that's just
I
not
agree with
something that's
Oxy.
really that utilized. So I think people are going to enjoy this, and so this is something.
Yeah.
I'm
You
definitely
like the
looking forward
vegan
I
tech?
can't wait to
It's even
crash
got a
into every single
waterfall.
wall
Look
on
at
this
that.
map.
to. Yes, there's going to be some
Are
trend
you saying you don't
from
like the
this.
vegan?
map
Yes.
like this.
Oh, the montage.
Ah,
is
yeah.
Pride
absolutely
and joy
amazing.
of Sweden.
Well, ladies and
It's got
gentlemen,
two
this
AGMs.
is all that we have to show to you.
Are those the guns modelled on it
today.
too?
Don't worry, there will be
No,
more
those
content
are
by the
flare
time the
boots.
patch releases. This
Great.
is just a little sneak peek at some of the things to come.
48
Reminder, you can actually test these things out yourself.
you know how many
today.
the Jaguar
we are
has?
opening up the dev server.
How many?
Should be actually right about now.
252.
That you can check out the dev server
It's the
and
same
test
as
out
the
all of
AVAA.
this stuff yourself.
It's got
Do you want to
ridiculous
see what
amount too.
bombs do in different terrains?
340.
Drop some bombs. Do you want to see what the dozers do? How they perform? Which vehicles get them right now? You can do that all on the dev server once it is open to the public.
Yes, might not be open right now, but quite soon I believe is the plan.
Should
Will
be roughly
the
within now.
will
It
the
might as always
chrysanthema get
some
the dozer blade
so
tech?
roughly soon TM, but today.
Be heavier than the rest of the
And
vehicle.
that is going to be it for us today. Hopefully you enjoyed this preview of our upcoming updates.
I did
with
enjoy
rounds
it. These were two
breaking.
very good sneak peek
We shall
streams.
see you again
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Tom is going to have his
Very
tea with
positive.
Tom again this
I
Monday.
don't know if I
We'll
like
answer
this
some
format
game
that they are
questions,
pretty much
maybe
just
some
touching
questions
each other
about that. So
when
we'll
the
see.
other one ends and the other one
And
starts.
next week
But
we also have the
Yeah.
It's alright.
Thursday
Yeah, it's
regular
good.
stream where we're going to go back to our usual schedule of derping around and having some fun. Thank you much for watching the stream. My name has been Micah's Boom. I have been joined by Tom, aka Oxy. We are your official
Hey,
hosts
remembered
for
his
the
name this
Amazon
time.
channels. And we shall
Positive.
see you on the desert very soon. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Lovely.
bye, Mike. And
Bye, Mike and
the other dude
Tom.
and Oxy.
Right, let's see.
Tomxy. Oh, the
Let's see if there's anything interesting on the patch. Well, not patch notes, but the thingy notes.
preliminary notes?
Yeah.
Are they already out? Can you send
No, I was talking about the other notes, like
Oh, the Russian ones.
the
for
Russian
sure.
notes. See if there's anything new or not. So these are obviously Kate's notes, as we've talked about before. Kate is a moderator on the Tech Hub, and also he runs a blog. So if you are interested, make sure to check out his stuff. It is pretty fun to have a look at, and a lot of cool stuff in there. So make sure to have a look while we have a look at this. Okay. I know why everything was crumped. Okay. So let's just do this. So we can have a look at it. Okay. So EVR 4.3, visual effects. We learned all about that stuff. Weasel. New interface changes. Projects a layer of possible penetration zones. This map does iterate calculations for a general map of where the shell can penetrate. If you give the system enough time to calculate, it will give you a far more accurate projection. Okay. Terraforming, researchable. Exchange primarily. Newly dirt sand mounds won't stop large caliber shells such as kinetic ammunition. Oh, that sucks.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's gonna greatly diminish the effect then.
Yeah. Water will also be a safe area, so I'm guessing you can't do it. Naval weapon systems are constantly being expanded. I mean, yeah, that's true. The walleye. So we looked at that. Lock on to moving ground targets from a range of 8k to 9k. You'll have to get far closer to lock moving targets.
Okay, so the
Okay.
walleye you can lock moving targets, so you have to get closer.
Yeah.